Emily's first job. 1. The job opportunity. Emily was sitting in the kitchen with her mom, Emily Sr., when she saw a notice on the community board near the grocery store. "Look, Mom," Emily said excitedly, pointing at the flyer. "The new cafe down the street is looking for part-time workers. Maybe I could apply for a job." Emily had just turned 16, and she had been thinking about getting her first job. She wanted to save some money for a new bike and learn more about responsibility. "That's a great idea," her mom said, smiling. "It's a good way to gain experience and earn some money. Why don't we go to the cafe after school tomorrow and see if they're still hiring?" Emily felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She had never had a job before, but the idea of working at a cafe seemed fun. Plus, she loved coffee and baked goods. So it sounded like the perfect job for her. 2. The interview. The next afternoon, Emily and her mom walked to the cafe. The cafe was small and cozy, with a welcoming atmosphere and the smell of fresh coffee in the air. A woman behind the counter smiled at them as they walked in. "Hello, how can I help you?" the woman asked. "I saw your flyer about a job opening," Emily said, feeling a little nervous. "I'm interested in applying for a part-time position." The woman, who introduced herself as Mrs. Johnson, the cafe owner, smiled warmly. "That's great. We're looking for someone to help out in the afternoons and weekends. Would you like to have a short interview now?" Emily nodded, and her mom gave her an encouraging smile. Before sitting at one of the tables to wait, Mrs. Johnson led Emily to a small table and asked her a few questions. "Have you ever worked before?" Mrs. Johnson asked. Emily shook her head. "No, this would be my first job. But I'm a fast learner, and I'm really excited to help out." Mrs. Johnson smiled. "That's okay. We all start somewhere. You seem like a responsible person. And we can teach you everything you need to know. Can you work on weekends and after school?" "Yes, I'm available during those times," Emily replied, feeling more confident. After a few more questions, Mrs. Johnson stood up and shook Emily's hand. "Congratulations, Emily, you're hired. You can start this Saturday." Emily's heart raced with excitement. She had just gotten her first job. 3. The first day. Saturday morning arrived, and Emily woke up early, feeling both excited and nervous. She put on her new uniform, a light blue apron with the cafe's logo, and made her way to the cafe. When she arrived, Mrs. Johnson greeted her with a smile. "Welcome, Emily. Today, I'll show you how everything works. Don't worry, I'll be here to help you." Emily's first task was learning how to make coffee. Mrs. Johnson showed her how to use the espresso machine and make different types of drinks, like lattes, cappuccinos, and iced coffee. "This is fun," Emily said as she carefully made her first cup of coffee. "You're doing great," Mrs. Johnson said. "Now, let's move on to the cash register. I'll show you how to take orders and handle payments." Emily practiced taking orders from customers, typing their choices into the register, and handling money. It was a little overwhelming at first, but with Mrs. Johnson's guidance, she quickly got the hang of it. By lunchtime, the cafe was busy, and Emily found herself moving quickly, making drinks, serving pastries, and helping customers. Even though it was a lot of work, she enjoyed every minute of it. 4. Learning new skills. As the weeks went by, Emily became more comfortable with her job. She learned how to multitask, handling several orders at once while keeping a friendly smile on her face. She also learned the names of the regular customers and started chatting with them whenever they came in. One of the regulars, Mr. Thompson, always ordered the same thing, a large black coffee and a blueberry muffin. "You're doing a great job, Emily," Mr. Thompson said one morning as he picked up his coffee. "You have a natural talent for customer service." "Thank you," Emily replied, feeling proud of her progress. She also enjoyed working with her coworkers, who were all friendly and helpful. They taught her how to handle busy shifts and work as a team to keep the cafe running smoothly. "Teamwork is important in a place like this," Mrs. Johnson said one day. "We all rely on each other to make sure everything gets done." Emily nodded. "I've learned so much already. I love being part of the team." 5. A busy weekend. One Saturday, the cafe was busier than ever. There was a line of customers waiting to order, and the cafe was filled with the sound of people talking and the smell of fresh coffee brewing. Emily worked quickly behind the counter, taking orders and making drinks. She had become much faster at using the espresso machine, and she could now make multiple drinks at once. "Here's your caramel latte," Emily said, handing a drink to a customer with a smile. But just as she was feeling confident, a customer accidentally knocked over a cup of coffee, spilling it all over the counter. "Oh no," Emily gasped, quickly grabbing a towel to clean up the mess. Mrs. Johnson came over to help. "Don't worry, Emily. Accidents happen. Just stay calm and clean it up." Emily took a deep breath and followed Mrs. Johnson's advice. In no time, the counter was clean, and she was back to making drinks. "That was a little stressful," Emily thought to herself, "but I handled it." By the end of the day, Emily was tired but proud of how she had managed the busy shift. She was learning more about how to stay calm under pressure and how to handle unexpected situations. 6. The first paycheck. A few weeks later, Emily received her first paycheck. She opened the envelope and looked at the amount printed on the check. It wasn't a huge amount, but it was her very own money, earned through hard work. "I did it," Emily said, feeling a sense of accomplishment. "I've earned my first paycheck." Her family celebrated with a special dinner, and Emily shared stories about her experiences at the cafe. "I've learned so much already," Emily said. "Not just about making coffee, but about responsibility, teamwork, and customer service. It's been a really great experience." Her parents were proud of her, and Jack, her younger brother, was impressed. "I can't wait to get my first job someday too," Jack said. Emily smiled. "It's a lot of work, but it's worth it." 7. Looking ahead. As Emily continued to work at the cafe, she realized how much she enjoyed the experience. She loved meeting new people, learning new skills, and earning her own money. It gave her a sense of independence and responsibility. One day, Mrs. Johnson pulled Emily aside. "You've been doing a fantastic job, Emily. I'm really impressed with your hard work and positive attitude." "Thank you," Emily replied, feeling proud. "I've really enjoyed working here." Mrs. Johnson smiled. "If you ever want more hours, just let me know. You're always welcome to work more shifts." Emily thanked her and thought about how much she had grown since her first day. She knew that this was just the beginning of her journey into the working world, and she was excited to see what the future would bring.